Hey, hi. Mm, yeah, myself Hanuman. In my previous video, I given like little details about what are the things that someone should know in the Python if they are like starting their career in the machine learning or AI side. Okay. So in this video, I'll try to cover different types of machine learning techniques. Okay, I've taken like the top four, maybe like majority of the people that are using, or maybe majority of the scenarios that comes under these four types of techniques. The first one is supervised learning, and the second one is unsupervised learning. Third one is semi-supervised learning, and the fourth one is like the reinforcement learning. I'll describe them. Um, the supervised learning means maybe like so when you know what is your like exact input and output. So when you know so both of those things, so in those kind of scenarios you will be using the supervised learning. So that means, let me give you an example. So suppose so if you are doing some housing analysis, or maybe email categorization. Okay, consider so you are trying to get an house price, right? Maybe what you will be you doing, you will be doing the previous historical data, how many houses are there, and maybe what is the range that the houses are going, and based on that you will be getting the your targeted house price. Or maybe suppose if you are trying to uh, buy a home in some area, you will do thorough analysis and see what is the expected budget for your home. Based on that you will be targeting your purchase, or maybe selling your house. So when you have the data, historical data, and when you know what is the expected outcome based on by using that data, in those kind of scenarios you will be using the supervised learning. So there will be one more scenario. I'll give you one more scenario. So suppose if you have a list of emails, and so from these emails, suppose if you want to categorize them, maybe the spam, or maybe the not spam. Okay, so now you have the list of emails. This one will be your data, and so from this you are trying to categorize them into spam or not spam. So here also you have some data, and from this you are trying to take a decision like the spam or not spam. So now you know the input data and the output value, so what you're trying to get from this data. So in this kind of scenarios you will be using the supervised learning. Okay, so within the supervised learning as well, so there are different types of algorithms, and so you have to go through each and every algorithm and see so which algorithm is giving you the best result, and then so you will be deploying that particular algorithm. So I'll cover that in the next topics. But so for now so I'm discussing only the types of uh, machine learning techniques. So simple, the supervised learning means so when you have some data, and when you know the exact outcome, so using the data, in those kind of scenarios we'll be using the supervised learning. And unsupervised learning is so categorical data, so when you have some data, but you don't know exact how many number of groups, or maybe how many number of categories that can be, how many ways that the data can be grouped. When you don't know that, so you will be using unsupervised learning. Okay, so let me give you an example. So consider so you have a phone, and you are taking a lot of photos. All right, everyone takes photos, right? So from these photos I want to categorize all the photos. Maybe so some photos can be categorized as family, right? And some photos can be categorized maybe so I've taken self. Some photos can be categorized as maybe so maybe friends. Okay, some photos can be categorized as maybe so others, like this, right? Okay, these are this many, maybe so within the family as well. Maybe so if I want to categorize, maybe so my family, or maybe so my brother family, or maybe my sister family, someone else family, so there are multiple categories. Okay, So even in the friends as well, maybe like so, or maybe like my college friends, or maybe my school friends, or maybe like so, my friends' friends, something like that. So you don't know exactly like so. You can be like so derive this data into like multiple categories. So which there can be like a number of categories. Okay, based on the photos, maybe like so if you have like so 10 photos, you can categorize into one or two. Maybe like if you have like some 100 photos, you can divide them into like multiple categories. Okay, so when you have some data and when you don't know exactly how many groupings that you can make from the data in those kind of scenarios, we'll be like using the unsupervised learning. Okay, and the third one is maybe like the semi-supervised learning. So semi-supervised learning means maybe like it's a combination of supervised learning and unsupervised learning. Maybe like so let me go back to the housing price data, right? So housing price data is there. Okay, so when you know like so when you have some historical data, you have the data from there, like so you are trying to calculate the house price. Okay, so from this, like so this is one scenario, and like so the other scenario is like so calculate the data and who is going to purchase this kind of house. Maybe like so what type of people are going to purchase the houses. Maybe like so when you want to derive these two uh, in your maybe like so technique, like so that will come under maybe semi supervised, because like so you will be like so expecting the what is the house price, but yeah like so differentiating like so what type of people are going to buy, maybe like so that might be like a little difficult. Like so there can be like n number of categories, right? Maybe like so if it is maybe like so 500k and house, like so maybe like so uh, there can be like some multiple types of people can buy, right? So when you know something, and maybe like so when you like so have like so different categories, like so when there is an uncertainty in those kind of scenarios, you will be like so using the unsupervised like so sorry semi supervised like so learning. And the third one, last one is like so reinforcement. Like so reinforcement learning means maybe like so it's kind of like so based on the some trial and error methods. Like so you'll be like so training your model. Consider like so you are developing a chess game, maybe like so from the initially, right? So chess, right? So maybe like the soldier needs to move maybe like so only one step ahead, right? So this is the expected outcome. So when you're training the model, maybe like the soldier might maybe like so move straight, or maybe like so right, or maybe like the left or back, or maybe like so yeah backward other direction. So among all these things, right, so only the maybe like straight is a correct value, or maybe like so unless like so there is a like so different soldier, or maybe like so different coin, and like so you want to uh, capture that one. Otherwise maybe like so the default value is like the moving one step ahead. Okay, so that is a right scenario. Like so so when you are like so training this one, right, so initially like so you will train like this, maybe like so for this one, so it needs to go one step ahead. Okay, so then maybe like so this is like so your initial trial method, right? So when it is like so when in the second run, so it will move like so it will be considering, or maybe like so your algorithm will consider as maybe like so moving one step ahead is the correct way like so that I have to do. So in those kind of scenarios, and yeah, so in those kind of scenarios, maybe like so you'll be like so doing some trial and error methods, and you have to like so try multiple times, maybe like so millions of times, to see like so what is the correct way that it is doing, like so kind of what is the correct way that it needs to do. So when you don't have any data, historical data, when you're training like so it will be like so based on your trial and error methods, like so you'll be like so training your model. So in those kind of scenarios, you will be like using the reinforcement learning. Okay, yeah, maybe hope you got some idea about maybe supervised learning, unsupervised learning, semi-supervised learning, and reinforcement learning. Okay, yeah, maybe like so that's all for this video. Like so tomorrow we'll see like so we'll try to maybe like so in the next session I'll try to cover some of the concepts in the supervised learning, and maybe like so how to collect the data, and maybe like so data pre-processing, and how to train the data, and we will test the data. Okay, so I'll try to cover those things maybe in the next video. Like, so please try to please thumbs up if you like the video. Thank you.